Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. We're patiently waiting for Shawjani to come in and join us in this live show because she was the only one who said that it's going to be LSG who will win tonight. Not sure what assessment she was making, but she's here. We were waiting for you. We were waiting for you, Shawjani. Tell me.
No,
How
in the
has it
first inning, no, in the first innings, I definitely thought that, I was really skeptical. I even texted you that Kargidi, what is happening? I made the wrong prediction. And then, when they started taking the wickets eventually and there were 4 wickets down, I felt really nice. It felt good that, my prediction was not going in the wrong way. But then again, Samir Rizvi, he just came out of the syllabus.
Absolutely, he did. Ashok, impact player, when they actually have impact, it makes you realize, okay, maybe this rule isn't so bad after all. When you get to see innings like these, that's completely a different debate. We can debate about impact player and the rule for an hour long, for an hour. But when it comes to Samir Rizvi, that was pure brilliance from him. Talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. I think they were in a spot of bother. Let's be very clear. Like Shorjani said, I think, it looked like the match was swinging the LSG way. And if you ask me, the starting of that partnership wasn't all that great. It looked a little shaky. I think the bowlers were getting some purchase from the wicket. I mean, even as late as the fifth or sixth over, the ball was swinging around. And the ball that dismissed Akshar Patel, I think that was a gem of a ball that really bowled, that was bowled. So it really required you to absorb the pressure and to kind of stick in there and build that partnership. And that's what both Tristan Stubbs as well as Samir Rizvi did. And I think at the end he accelerated, and the kind of shots that he played. Obviously, the benefit of knowing the wicket, local boy, but full credit to him. I think he played a gem of an innings, and I think he really snatched that match out of LSG.
Snehashish, your thoughts on Samir's performance tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see. I think this is IPL is all about to get to see this kind of talents, and and first of all, for the franchise you show that trust that okay, we are in a spot of bother, we can send this boy, and this boy we believe that can do the job for us, and Summit is be repeat that faith. It's good to see the scoring 70 and that too remaining unbeaten in an unchased, absorbing the pressure. A fantastic unbeaten partnership with someone like Tristan Stubbs. I think Stubbs also played a brilliant role in this partnership. I think it is not easy for an international cricketer to play the second fiddle role, especially when you are experienced enough. But he understood the situation. He understood that Samir is looking good, playing his shots fantastically well. I think that is why he decided to play the second fiddle, and how well he played that role. I think it was needed that at least one of them stayed and till the last ball of the chase, and they both remained unbeaten and did the job few overs back ago only. But excellent innings from Samir Rizvi. Maybe more to come from his bat in this ongoing season.
Shorjani, what do you think went wrong for Delhi Capitals at the top of the order? What really happened there?
Firstly, I think for Delhi Capitals, in the first place, I think LSG they were doing a good job when it came to the bowling. But I was a little bit surprised when I saw that Mohammad Shami was bowled out. He had completed his 4 over spell within the ninth over, so I was a little surprised by that. But then I think KL Rahul, the first ball, I mean Shami was exceptional today. Even with Nisanka and Nitish Rana, they all were struggling. At one point Nitish Rana did look a little settled, but then I feel that they were in a kind of hurry and they were not being able to judge the ball properly. And I would not say that they were over generating shots or something, but I think with the kind of movement present in the stadium, in the pitch, and the lines and the lengths were accurate from the LSG bowlers. So at that point, it was really required for the top order batters to go out there, stay a little, spend some time in the wicket, understand what is happening, and then move forward with the game. I think that was missing. And I think Samir Rizvi, that is what he exactly did. He came into the pitch, he came into bat, and he was calm. He understood what was happening. He did not over-generate shots. He did not try to overhit. He understood what was happening. He hit a few shots, down the ground. And later on, when he looked a little settled, that is when he started hitting.
Snehashish, when we talk about predictions, of course, Shorjani got hers wrong, but so did we. When we spoke about Rishabh Pant, we thought it was going to be number. And this is something that Ricky, that is that I think they're doing on purpose, because I believe
Mm.
in the press conference today as well, or yesterday, I'm not sure which one, but the coach did say that I'm not going to sit here and tell you, what position Rishabh Pant is going to come out and bat at. So that's something that they
Yeah.
did. Then I also think they put Rishabh Pant at number three on that team list on purpose, so that Delhi Capitals could not understand what is going on. So
Yes,
when
definitely.
Rishabh Pant came out to open, Snehashish, how surprised were you? And once again, not a good start to his IPL season.
Yes, that's the main part, that it is not a good start again. Yes, Justin Langer has kept a surprise for us. I think we all of us were a bit surprised to see Rishabh Pant coming out to bat as an opener. Uh, Even I was sad also not to see Aiden Makram coming, because if you ask me, in the last season, the opening pair, Makram and Mitchell Marsh, was a successful one for LSC. Both of them were good. They gave good start, and they both scored around 450 plus runs. So I don't know what is the logic behind breaking that pair in the next season only after they delivered for you. It is not like they didn't do the job for you. So that is one thing. I think Rishabh Pant at number three was the best one, was the best move. It is not that it will it will not help Rishabh Pant to bat at that number. I think that's the best position, and also not playing Nicholas Puran at number four. Obviously, his form might be not as good as he showed in last two seasons, but I think at number four, I think that is the position for Nicholas Puran. So for me, I think for LSC, this top four should be stacked. Like, the opening pair, Makram and Mitchell Marsh, then at number three, Rishabh Pant, and number four, Puran. Ayush Badani, I think that was a good move, but still didn't give the desired result that they have planned for. But when it comes to Rishabh Pant, unfortunate dismissal, I will say. But the amount of balls that he played, I think he didn't look that much of comfortable. If you ask me, I think one or two shots here and there looked good, but overall, the state didn't. Obviously, it was not a track. It was not a easy track to bat on. The bowlers were getting movement, the bounce. I think all the batters throughout the match, I think, apart from Samir Rizvi and Tristan Stubbs, obviously they took the time on this stage and then they got settled and played their shots according to the situation. But all the other batters, if you see, I think they misjudged the bounce and everything, the pace also. I think that kind of double paced pitch, I think it was, and I mentioned that in the pre-match show that we don't know what kind of pitch the Ikana will give. It because with the Ikana pitch, it's always been that's the scenario. So I think that also didn't help Rishabh Pant when he came out to bat. But overall, he didn't look that much of comfortable whatever deliveries he faced.
What are your thoughts, Ashok? How did you think Rishabh Pant was looking tonight? And of course, in the next innings, how did you rate him as a captain?
I think they the team really felt that they need to do something out of the ordinary, and it was a bit of a punt that they were pulling off. Is what I would say. It's not a bad move if you ask me. I mean, even the logic of saying that he comes in at number three would have been to kind of get him to, he has that capability. He has that X factor of really disrupting the opposition. I take the point that why would you disturb a perfectly working opening combination? But Rishabh Pant at the top is better than in the middle, and that with that logic, therefore, I understand why that was done. So that's regarding his batting. I agree with Snehashish. He did look uncomfortable. I think it's going to take much more than this to kind of build back their playing ability. As a captain, I think fundamentally that's what I said in the pre-show, that the squad looked a little skewed. The bowling. I understand that they took those initial four wickets and some and full marks actually to Mohsin Khan, to Prince Yadav, the way they bowled, and Mohammad Shami obviously. But I think that was it. I mean, after that, what? I kind of lost their way in terms of who are their bowlers. Nokia did bowl well, but I'm just saying that, whether the fifth or the sixth bowler is going to be a spinner, Are they going to, what was the logic of really the bowling artillery was not very clear. And I think that's something that you will really need to go back to the drawing board and figure out.
Shorjani, there's a comment here. GITSH23 saying, why did DC even struggle to chase? KL and Aksar played shots that were going to go nowhere, and batters around the world are struggling to adapt to these slow pitches.
I definitely agree, and I think the same thing happened in the World Cup match between Zimbabwe and Australia, where Zimbabwe won against Australia because Australia they were struggling to bat. It was a slow pitch. It was, I think, played in Sri Lanka. I don't remember the exact venue, but it was taking place in Sri Lanka, and the batters were struggling. And this is something that we have seen across international cricket as well. I mean, the moment the pitch slows down and there is a little bit of turn and a little bit of bounce, the batters, especially, they tend to struggle. And this is the kind of cricket that has been going around in India for a while. Not in India, I would say in international cricket for a while, because 250, 300, all of these runs, they are achievable at this point. So like they say, 250 is the new 100. So when you set a target, like when you have this framework in your mind that 250 is achievable, I think these slow pitches, it'll definitely cause problems to the batters and the bowlers. And I think today, Delhi Capitals, they did a good job. It was a slow game initially for a person like me who has just started. I mean, for people who have just started watching IPL, for my generation, this game is going to be very boring. But the people who understand the true essence of the game are going to appreciate it, because we actually got to see. And I think the most interesting part was when Mohsin Khan was bowling and he had two slips and a gully. I don't remember the last time I saw someone having two slips and a gully in a T20 match.
Yeah, and Snehashish, if I talk about Nicholas Puran at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at number 5, how do you think that's going to work?
Yes, that is what I said. That I expect
Yeah.
LSG to use Nicholas Pon at number 4. Obviously, the form might be a reason, or maybe they tried to after losing those wickets, they tried to send Ayush Baduni at the before Nicholas Pon to keep him for the later stage. I can understand that might be the decision behind that move, but also Nicholas Pon also didn't look that much of comfortable. I think that was a brilliant delivery from Ngedi, the way he controlled that slower delivery, the way he dipped and the slowish Yorker hit the stumps. I think it was fantastic. But for Nicholas Puran, I think again for me, I think Nicholas Puran number 4 is the perfect stage. Doesn't matter the form. With every player it happens. The form might, once the form will be there, one game the form will not be there. That is part and parcel of the game. But I think at number 4, that should be the slot for Nicholas Pope, irrespective of the form, because he has done that. He has been there, done that, and he has done superbly well for this particular team for the last 2 seasons. So maybe 1 or 2 games he might be need, but let's stick with a perfect combination, or let's stick with a perfect position for a particular batter. Otherwise, it's very difficult for every batter, not only Puran, for every batter to stick with the clarity of the role, that what is the team need from me. Because if a player is not clear about his role in a team, then it's very difficult to to assess the situation and play it according to that. So I think that clarity, that communication should be there, and hopefully LSG management will come up with better clarity in the next game.
Ashok, there are a couple more comments from GITSH23. He's saying chasing is always easier. So toss played a crucial role. Now, this is something that Surya Kumar Yadav disagreed with during the World Cup. But again, World Cup is a completely different ballpark, neutral pitches. But at this point, do you think when it comes to the IPL, the toss more or less decides who has the upper hand?
Not exactly, but I think on the conditions here, given the pitch here, and given the two teams, I think the logic of winning and then saying that we will put the opposition into bat gives you a sense of how the conditions are, what to expect from it, and how to pace out your innings as well. And I think that's what are the factors that's really helped DC in this case. It's not an outright call in terms of winning the toss leading to winning the match, but I think it gives you definitely more of an advantage in terms of understanding what needs to be done. And I think, to the point that Snehashish was saying, I really think that they did not intend to take Nicholas Puran and take him lower down the order. I think the moment they lost initial wickets, they felt that they need to take that innings deeper, and which is why they felt that. And I mean, one should look at it as Ayush Badoni probably coming in earlier, Nicholas Puran to be held back so that he can take the innings deep. I mean, and the parallel that I'd like to draw there is that when Chennai Super Kings, got bundled out for 125, I think they got into that trap of saying that you need to keep accelerating, keep going on the run rate. Sometimes you need to kind of take stock of conditions, reassess the situation, and perhaps take the game deep.
Shojani, final round of questions for you. What do you think the rest of the season is looking like for Delhi Capitals? Do you think this is a positive start? The playing 11 is looking good. Maybe doesn't need as many changes. When you have a Mitchell Stark joining them back, things will look pretty positive for them. Or do you think there's still a lot to be, seen because there was a hiccup?
In the pre-match show, it was me who said that LSG have a stronger batting lineup than DC, and I really don't know why I said that, and I don't stand by it now. I changed my decision, but definitely see as a team you can definitely improve in a lot of areas. But I think DC camp things are safe right now at this point. Aksar Patel also, but he took a lot of ownership today, I would say, because he was bowling the last over of the power play. The sixth over, it was him who came up and he bowled, and it was Aiden Markram who was batting. And in the first ball, Aiden Markram tried to charge Aksar Patel. And he did hit Aksar Patel for a six, and in the next ball, he took the wicket of Aiden Markram. So I think that Aksar Patel as a captain, also what we were discussing in the pre-show as well, he is stepping up for his team. He is going out there and performing when needed with the ball, and even on the field, it looked very. It kind of, the coordination was there, it was visible. However, in the batting unit, I did expect him to take a little bit of charge and be there for his team. And I feel that the shot was completely uncalled for. He did not have to go out there and try to hit it in that way, because the wickets were already falling, so he could have stayed in for the team and played. But however, I think things are looking good for DC, and after Mitchell Stark joins, it is going to be good. But I can't say that, because in KKR also we were looking forward to Mitchell Stark few years ago, and then Mitchell Stark was in a horrible form. So let us just hope that he does well for DC.
Ashish.
Hmm. Sorry, the voice got cut. Can you say once again?
Price tag pressure. Mitchell Stark and Rishabh Pant on the other hand.
Yes, absolutely. I think back of the mind somehow it creates a pressure, but I think Mitchell Stark did the job for KKR. Thankfully, in 2024, I think next year he looked decent. I will not say bad. It was a decent season from start. I think, but let's see when he comes and finally join the squad and do something in this season. But for Rishabh Pant again, what we discussed in the pre-match show also, it's a huge season for him. Unfortunately, another bad start for him. Let's see whether this move of using him as an opener works for him or not eventually. One match will not decide. Even if you would have scored a 60, 70, or maybe 100, that would have settled that okay, this is the position that we might continue with him. One knock doesn't define that. So let's say at least after 3-4 games we might come up with a conclusion, or maybe come up with a decision. Okay, this might be the new place where we can try Rishabh Pant as an opener in T20 setup. So let's see how it does. But he needs to lead from the front. I think if he start scoring, I think more we can see the more better the leader version of Rishabh Pant. Also, I think today initial phase he was good. I think with the decision of keeping those sleeps, when he understood that the balls are moving, and using her pacers, as Shojan mentioned, that using Shami continuously for 4 overs. I think with the current fitness and the age factor and seeing the movement of the ball, I think he decided it's better to finish all the 4 overs of Shami initial stages. Maybe that might be the thought process behind that. But overall, at first I think it looked good as a captain. He looked good, but again, when things started to move away from him, he looked clueless. There is no plan B or plan C. When the plan is stopped working, he looked clueless. I think that is another part that he needs to work on. But overall, more than a skipper, I would love to see the better Rishabh Pant coming and leading from the front with some consistent run at the top.
Absolutely. And Ashok, final question to you. Out of these two teams, who do you think is more likely to make it to the top four?
Oh, Delhi Capitals, without doubt. I think I think they look more organized. One match too difficult to read anything specific, but given the fact that you still had a David Miller sitting there, there was no way that they were going to lose this match. I never really felt that they would not be able to overcome those initial jitters. I think batting wise it looks good. Bowling wise. The team looks good. So I think on paper and in terms of actual delivery, they will only actually improve as the next few matches go by.
All right, then that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much, Snehashi, Shorjani, and Ashok for joining, and to everyone who's watching. Don't forget to come back tomorrow as we continue our IPL coverage, and there's a lot more happening as well across sports, and you'll find it all on Rev Sports. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the